Hello everyone. Today our topic is formation of embryo, artificial hybridization, apomixis and polyembryony. Means we are in chapter 2, last portion, that is sexual reproduction in flowering plant. Already we have discussed on the topic pre-fertilization event, fertilization event, and now we are in the topic, last topic, that is post-fertilization events. So in pre-fertilization event, a small recapitulation, pre-fertilization event, we have read about gametogenesis and gamete transfer. In fertilization event, we read about double fertilization and triple fusion. And in the last one, that is post-fertilization event, there you can see two particular events. First one is formation of endosperm and second one is development of embryo. So the formation of endosperm, it is already done in our previous video. That is three types of endosperm development: free nuclear development, cellular development and halobial development. So already these things we have covered in our previous video. Now today we'll start, that is formation of development of embryo. So why development of endosperm is earlier than the development of zygote? Already that thing also we discussed, that is the endosperm develops before the embryo because the cell of the endosperm provides nutrition. Once again, because this is very important line, so I'd like to tell you this once again, provide nutrition to the developing embryo. So this is the reason that first there is a formation of endosperm and then there is a development of embryo. Right. Now the next topic, that is main topic, that is development of embryo. So development of embryo, it is also known as embryogeny. Here is one question, that is where is zygote formed in the flowering plant? So all of you know that zygote is present in the embryo sac, and embryo sac, two particular point here. With the help of this diagram I can show you that one is, that is micropylar end, and another one is, that is chalagen end. So this one is micropylar end, this is micropylar end, and the above part, this part, it is chalagen end. Right. Okay. So we are going to see the development of zygote, which is present inside of the ovule. And zygote is formed inside of the embryo sac in ovule of the plant. Sepal, petal and stamen usually drop off from the plant after fertilization. That means what is the remaining portion? That is only ovary. And that ovary will be converted into fruit, and the ovule which is present inside of the ovary, that will be converted into seed. So now we're going to see that how there is a development of embryo inside of that seed. Right. So formation of embryo or embryogeny. So formation of embryo from zygote is called embryogeny. Already I told you. It begins only when a certain amount of endosperm has been formed. This assured proper food supply to the developing embryo. Early embryo development is similar in both dicot and monocot. Whatever you are studying, whether it is a dicot or monocot, early embryo development, it is similar. Early embryo has an axial symmetry and globular form. It is called proembryo. Proembryo passes from globular form to heart-shaped and then mature stage of embryo. We are going to study about dicot embryogeny, means embryo formation in dicot plants. So that is called dicot embryogeny. And I told you that early embryo development is similar in both dicot and monocots. So the freed zygote elongates and divides transversely into a larger basal cell and a smaller terminal cell. This one is the zygote, and it will divide into two cells. You can see here two cells. So this one is called this one is called basal cell, and this one is terminal cell. Let me write here terminal cell. Right. So two cell. One is basal cell and another is terminal cell. This is the result of the division of zygote. So this is this zygote divides and form two cells. Clear it is? Now, the basal cell, it is towards the micropylar end, because we know that this side it is micropyle. So the basal cell is towards the micropylar end and terminal cell is towards the chalazal or antipodal sides. Right. Now, first of all, we will read about the basal cell. So basal cells, it is towards the micropylar end and it is enlarges further and undergoes transverse division to produce 6 to 10 celled filament called suspensor. So here you can see there is another structure, that is suspensor. Okay, let me show you. It is suspensor. And how many cells are there in suspensor? That is a long neck-like structure. Okay, which one is suspensor? This one. This is a long neck-like structure. That is suspensor. Which one is suspensor? This one. This is a long neck-like structure. That is suspensor. And how many cells are here in the suspensor? That is 6 to 10 cells. Okay, I'll write here, that is 6 to 10 cells. Okay, correct. 6 to 10 cells. Right. So suspensor, it is developed due to the division in the this basal cell, and how many cells are there? That is 6 to 10 cell. And you can see that the last cell of this suspensor, it is little bit swollen. That means it is a larger and vacuolated. And this cell is known as haustorium. So once again, I'd like to write here. So what is this? This is haustorium. Haustorium. So let me write here this last cell. It is called haustorium. Okay. Haustorium. So it is haustorium. Suspensor is meant for pushing the young embryo into food-laden endosperm. So what is the function of suspensor? Main function of suspensor is to pushing young embryo to the for receiving the food from the developing endosperm. Okay. Now then after there is a development of terminal cell. I told you that two cells cell formed. One is basal, another is terminal cell. So the terminal cell, it is a smaller cell and which is located towards the chalaza or antipodal end. So terminal cell is also called embryo cell as it is to form the major part of the embryo. Major part of the embryo is formed by the terminal cell. It undergoes one transverse and two vertical division to produce two tiered and eight-celled proembryo. So you can see here, where is the proembryo? This is the proembryo. Terminal cell divides, continuously divide. Basal cell, two cell earlier, basal and terminal. Basal, it forms suspensor. And terminal cell, it forms proembryo. Proembryo, here I'd like to write here, that is what is the what is for this, that means how many cells are there, how many tiers are there. So it is, we can write here, that is two tiered and eight celled. So this is the structure of proembryo, two tiered, eight celled. Now the tier towards the suspensor formed hypocotyle and part of radicle. So which one is the hypocotyle? Hypocotyle is which is towards the suspensor. Once again, I'd like to show you which one is hypocotyle. Which one is towards the suspensor? This one. Okay, sorry. So this one, the cell which is present here, this is hypocotyle, and cell which is present here, that is epicotyle. So now I'd like to write here which one is hypocotyle. This one is hypocotyle. hypocotyle. And which one is epicotyle? This one is epicotyle. So this one. So hypocotyle and epicotyle. So epicotyle develops plumule. We know that from a seed there is a development of radicle, that means root part, and there is a development of plumule, that means shoot part. So in the developing embryo, now you can understand from where the root is emerging out, that is from hypocotyle, and from where the plumule is emerging out, that is epicotyle. From this part there will be formation of plumule, from this part there will be formation of radicle. So radicle, the term is written here, that is root apex or radicle, right? Okay. Now, first one I told you, that is proembryo, it is globular. The shape is globular. So, first it is globular shape. And second, it is heart shape. When it is little bit heart-like, forming a heart-like structure. So, this is, you can write here, I can write here that this is the heart shape embryo. This is heart shape. Heart-shaped embryo. So, two shape. Then after finally there is a formation of the developed embryo where you can see the cotyledon portion covered the maximum area, and this is inside of the ovule. Which one is the ovule? So this is ovule. This is ovule. Inside of the ovule the embryo is developed. So three shaped, first is globular, then is hard, and third one is, that is mature embryo. Sometimes it is written that it is C-shaped embryo or horseshoe shaped embryo. Horseshoe like C, alphabet C, shaped embryo. Right. So this is all about the development of embryo. Now our next topic is, that is artificial hybridization. So everything is written here. First proembryo and then the globular heart shape, whatever I discussed, if these things are written here. Okay. Now there is a artificial hybridization. Another picture for the same development, zygote, then basal and terminal cell, then the suspensor, and lower one is the proembryo, upper one larger cell is the posterior cell, and then there is a formation of heart-shaped embryo and the mature embryo. It is the same development in the dicot. So this is about the embryo. Then artificial hybridization. This is another topic, that is artificial hybridization. So what is artificial hybridization? It is a technique in plant breeding where crosses are made between different varieties, species, and even genera in order to combine their desirable character in a single superior ovary. So artificial hybridization is one of the major approaches in crop improvement, because what we are doing here, we are combining the desirable character in term of sexual reproduction. So generally we are knowing that if you want to get the desirable character, we are going for the hybridization process, or that is a stem. We are doing the grafting process and we are getting the hybridized plant. But if you want to use the flower, that means through the sexual reproduction, if you want to grow hybridized plant, in that case we can go for artificial hybridization for getting your desired plant. So it is for improvement of the crop. In this technique, it is important that only desired pollen grains are used in pollination, and the stigma of the desired plant is protected from contamination. That is very important. From unwanted pollen, this is carried out by the two process. First is emasculation and second is bagging. So emasculation, that means whatever artificial hybridization we can see here, it is achieving or achieved by using following techniques. So two techniques. So two main things. Why we are doing artificial hybridization? For getting desirable plant with the desired qualities. And how we can do this? By two techniques, emasculation and second one is bagging. Right. So in this diagram, you can see there is the emasculation process. Emasculation means removal of anther from the bisexual flower of the female parent plant. Definitely, if the flower is unisexual, there is no need for this emasculation process. Directly, we can go for the bagging process. But if the flower is bisexual, we have to remove the anther or the male part, and that is called emasculation. So the first step is emasculation. Now the question is, why we are removing this anther? Because we want to pollinate the stigma of this flower by other pollens, pollen of the other plant, our desired plant. So we want to remove this anther from here. We want to remove the pollen grains from here because we want to pollinate this plant with the other pollen grains from the other plant. That is why before maturation of this plant flower pollen grains, first of all we have to remove the anther, and this process is called emasculation. Then the second step is, that is bagging. So bagging, what is bagging? We can see here the flower is covered. After removing of the anther, the flower is bagged. That means covering the emasculated flower to prevent contamination. Here you can see the contamination word. Repeatedly I am telling you contamination. What is the meaning of contamination? Contamination means the stigma is protected by the pollination with the unwanted pollen. That means whatever pollen you want to brush it, you will brush it here, so that if you that means cover the flower immediately after the emasculation process, definitely the flower will be remain protected by that is pollinated by unwanted pollen, by wind pollination or by any other insect or other before dropping your own pollen, maybe through wind it may be pollinated by other pollen grains, so that should be protected. So it is nothing, it is covering the emasculated flower by a particular bag. Now, desired pollen grains are dusted on stigma. When the stigma is matured, the desired that means that stigma, matured stigma, it is dusted with the desired pollen grain, and flowers are bagged again. Once again, we can bag the flower. So first, emasculation, removal of anther. Again, second, there is a bagging, that is till the maturation of the stigma to avoid the contamination of the stigma. And again, when the stigma is mature, it is dusted with the desired pollen, and after dusting, again the flowers are bagged. So this is the process of artificial hybridizations. It is a method to improve crop yield. Already I told you, and it is a method, it is essential to ensure that the right kinds of pollen grains are used and the stigma is protected from the unwanted pollen. So every time it is written unwanted pollen grains, contamination. So that means these two term, it is playing important role here, right? Okay, so it is over. That is artificial hybridization. This will come in your practical exam. Artificial hybridization. So this is important for class 12. Now the next, that is development of fruit. How the fruit is developed. So the fruit means it is developed part of the ovary of the flower develop into fruit, all of you know. The wall of the ovary transform into wall of the fruit, pericarp, that also we know that the wall, any fruits that is having a wall, that is called pericarp. In case of mango, we are removing the skin, that is the pericarp. We are taking the that is pulp of the mango, that is also pericarp. That means pericarp is divided into three layers, that is epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp. So in case of mango, what we are having, that is mesocarp. And what is the epicarp? That is the outermost skin. And endocarp, it is just above the seed of the mango. So all together, epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp, all together it is known as pericarp. Already in class 11 we have read about this. So fruit may be fleshy, maybe that means dry fruits like groundnut, mustard, they are dry fruit. So in some plants, floral parts other than the ovary take part in the fruit formation. This is the new term. In your book, you will get two types of fruit. One is false fruit, and another is true fruit. So what is the meaning of false fruit? Here, I'd like to show you one picture for the false fruit and the true fruit so that it will be clear. So there is a picture. Here you can see two types of fruits. One is grape, another is apple. So grape is true fruit as it is written here, and apple is false fruit. And the second picture, you can see this is a picture of carpel or pistil. So what is carpel and pistil? We know that the basal part is ovary and which will be converted fruit. So this basal part which is going to be converted into fruit, here we can see that in the first case, that as we are knowing that ovule is converted into seed and Swollen ovary, that is fruit. It is the first case. But the second case, whatever the swollen part, whatever the edible part, edible food of the apple, that is not the ovary. Generally, what is the edible part of the fruit, that is ovary, because we know that ovary is converted into fruit. But in case of apple, the edible part is not ovary. Edible part is thalamus. That means the fruity part is development of thalamus. Thalamus, you can see here that it is thalamus. This is thalamus. And just imagine if this thalamus is growing like this, in the same way, growing like this, and there is formation of apple. And where are the seeds? Now for seed, I can show you the seed. It is inside. These are the seeds inside of this apple. Here is the seed. Suppose these are the seed. This is the seed. And apple, the main fruity part, it is developed by this thalamus. That means when the ovary is not playing role for the formation of the fruit, such kind of fruit is called false fruit. And if the ovary is developed into fruit, then it is called true fruit. Right? So two types of fruit, false fruit. I want to show you one more term, that is parthenocarpic fruit. You can see here, this is parthenocarpic fruit. So example is written, that is banana. Parthenocarpic, partheno word is already you are knowing, that is parthenogenesis in first chapter. So we have already discussed about this parthenogenesis. So the same way, when we are talking about the fruits or the plant, we are using the term parthenocarpic. So some fruits develop without fertilization. Generally, it is our concept that fruits develop after fertilization process. But there are some fruits which are developed without fertilization, and these fruits are called parthenocarpic. So one thing is clear, if there is no fertilization, there will be no seed formation. That means in parthenocarpic fruit, there is no seed formation. So that is parthenocarpic fruit. Now, I want to show you the picture of few parthenocarpic fruit so that it will be more clear. You can see here the picture of banana. So both the A and B, bananas, in A, case A, it is normal fruit, normal bananas. So you can see here seeds. But in case B, no seeds. Bananas are there, fruit developed, but there is no seed. That means it is parthenocarpic fruit. So parthenocarpic means where there is no seed. Fruit is developed without fertilization. So there is no seed, seedless. That is parthenocarpic. तो आप लोगों ने बनाना खाया होगा, कभी आपने देखा है कि बनाना के अंदर में बीज होता है, सीड्स होते हैं. सो दैट इज नॉर्मल फ्रूट. लेकिन कभी कुछ बनानास ऐसे भी होते हैं जिसके अंदर आपको कुछ नहीं दिखाई देता, तो दैट इज पार्थेनोकार्पिक. इन द सेम वे देयर आर अदर एग्जांपल्स लाइक टोमेटो. टोमेटो में भी यू कैन सी हियर डी एंड ई. सो डी में आप क्या देख रहे हैं, यू कैन सी हियर सीड्स, बट ई एफ में कोई सीड नहीं है. दैट मीन्स दिस वन इज पार्थेनोकार्पिक. तो नेचर में दोनों तरह से फ्रूट्स का फॉर्मेशन हो सकता है, मे बी बाय फर्टिलाइजेशन, विदाउट फर्टिलाइजेशन. So if it is with the fertilization, seed will be there, and if it is without fertilization, such fruits are called parthenocarpic and there will be no seed. So this is about the parthenocarpic. Very interesting. What is this? This is the picture of, yes, this is watermelon. तो अगर आपको वाटरमेलन खाने के लिए कोई बोलता है तो सबसे ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम क्या है, उसका सीड. जब आप वाटरमेलन खाते हैं तो उसका सीड आपको सबसे ज्यादा इरिटेट करता है, बिकॉज इट इज अ काइंड ऑफ ऑब्स्टिकल. लेकिन अगर ऐसा वाटरमेलन मिल जाए जिसमें सीड ना हो, तो वो वाटरमेलन आपके लिए बहुत अच्छा है. सो दैट इज पार्थेनोकार्पिक. So there are other examples, so many examples. If you will search, you will get so many fruits which are parthenocarpic. Now the last topic is apomixis and polyembryony. This is very important and as well as interesting also. Apomixis. Some plants produces seeds without fertilization. Earlier we have read that fruit is produced without fertilization. Now we are studying that seeds are produced without fertilization. So this process of seed formation is known as apomixis. So I think apomixis is very interesting for you because हमेशा हमको पता है कि if there is a seed, that means there is a fertilization. But no, it is not always. This is a very new information for you. कि seeds are produced without fertilization. And that means apomixis is the form of asexual reproduction, but mimicking sexual reproduction. Means by observing the seed, you can say that yes, it is a sexual reproduction, but exactly there is no fusion of gamete. Then how the seeds are produced?
In some species, apomixis occurs as the diploid egg cell is formed without meiosis. तो किसी किसी प्लांट में क्या होता है, देयर इज नो meiosis because already I told you that during our megasporogenesis process I told you that megaspore mother cell undergoes meiosis and form 4 megaspore. Out of this 3 degenerate and 1 functional megaspore. ठीक है ना, तो मेगास्पोर मदर सेल अंडरगोज meiosis and form that embryo sac, that means egg and embryo sac, that means haploid cells. But sometimes जो मेगास्पोर मदर सेल है वो मियोसिस नहीं करता. जनरली क्या होता है, वो मियोसिस करता है, इसलिए वो आधा हो जाता है, हैप्लॉइड सेल्स बना लेता है, एग्स. लेकिन कभी कभी दीज मेगास्पोर मदर सेल विदाउट मियोसिस एंड डेवलप इनटू एम्ब्रियो सेल. मियोसिस नहीं करता, दिस इज वेरी, दैट मीन्स अनयूजुअल प्रोसेस. जनरली ऐसा नहीं होता, कभी कभी ऐसा हो सकता है कि बिना मियोसिस के ही वो एम्ब्रियो सेक बना लिया, तो उसके अंदर का सारा सेल का प्लॉइडी क्या होगा, डिप्लॉइड होगा, क्योंकि मियोसिस तो हुआ ही नहीं. मियोसिस होने से वो हैप्लॉइड होता, तो मियोसिस नहीं हुआ, दैट मीन्स ऑल द सेल्स इनसाइड ऑफ द एम्ब्रियो सेक्स नाउ इट इज डिप्लॉइड. तो डिप्लॉइड तो वो पहले से ही है, सो विदाउट फर्टिलाइजेशन यहाँ पे सीड बन सकता है. सो विदाउट फर्टिलाइजेशन देयर विल बी फॉर्मेशन ऑफ diploid seed. No need to that means for this fusion process, fertilization process, अपने आप ही seed का formation हो सकता है because already it is diploid. So in some varieties of, example is very important, in some varieties of citrus and mango, the nucleus cells divide and protrude into the embryo sac to develop into embryo. In such cases, each ovules may contain several embryo and this condition is called polyembryony. This is again another term. This is the new term, polyembryony. So what is polyembryony? Polyembryony, the term it is clear. Poly means बहुत सारा. Embryo means क्या बहुत सारा? Embryo. So when embryo कहाँ होता है? Ovule के अंदर. Embryo sac के अंदर. So when there are so many embryos in one ovule, मतलब एक सीड को तुमने खोला, ग्राम सीड देखा है सबने, ग्राम सीड जब स्वेल हो जाता है और उसको जब हम 2 पार्ट में करते हैं तो उसके सेंटर में एम्ब्रियो होता है, व्हाइट कलर का पार्ट. तो अगर तुम ग्राम सीड को खोलो या लेमन के सीड को खोलो और उसके अंदर से बहुत सारा एम्ब्रियो निकल रहा है, एक ही सीड के अंदर से बहुत सारा एम्ब्रियो, then it is called polyembryony. So polyembryony, I think it is clear. Apomixis means formation of seed without fertilization. क्यों हुआ? क्योंकि मियोसिस नहीं हुआ था और वो ही सीड बन गया. And polyembryony, ये in some other plants, in citrus, mostly it is found in citrus, जहाँ पे कि एक ही एम्ब्रियो के, एक ही सीड के अंदर बहुत सारा एम्ब्रियो होता है, that is called polyembryony. So apomixis is important for producing hybrid varieties of fruits and vegetables and also for increasing crop yield multi-folds. So apomixis, I think it is clear. The organism reproducing through apomixis is called apomix. उसको हम लोग बोलते हैं apomix. Apomixis is controlled by gene. In apomixis, the new individuals are genetically similar to the parent. यहाँ पे एक क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे आपसे कि apomixis में whether the new individuals are similar, they are clone. So the new individual are similar to the parents producing them. They are therefore clone of their parents. So this is all about this apomixis and polyembryony. This is the picture, that is the citrus. This is the ovule. There is one normal embryo, as it is written here, it is normal embryo, and others are, there are so many, that is nucellar embryos are there. That means it is nucellar. The embryos are developed into the nucellus. It is with this the topic is covered. So today what we have studies, today okay. Huh. So today what we have studied? Today we have studied from the beginning, that is mainly 2-3 process. One is, that is development of zygote, that is development of embryo, and the second is, that is artificial hybridization, and the third is, it is development of fruit, false fruit, true fruit, and parthenocarpic fruit. And then finally last topic of your book, that is apomixis and polyembryony. With this we have completed our chapter, and if you have any doubt you can ask me, you can write your doubt in the comment box. Thank you very much. Next video I will start chapter 3. Thank you.